Hey you guys, it's Samantha from AP Art History, and we're going to talk about El Anasui's work, and let's get started with it. He was born in Uganda and later moved to Nigeria. He grew up the youngest of 32 siblings. He was raised surrounded by music, poetry, and other artistic expression in Uganda. In 1964, he began to study the parts of Africa of decolonization and their culture. Therefore, he joined the movement called Sanaforica. The movement was to embrace their rich culture in Africa and to have an understanding of the Europeans that affected their culture. One of his earlier works was called Erosion. The word itself means the process of the surface of the earth being worn away by the action of nature and weather. The work was done for Brazil in 1992 for the early summit, and they asked artists to create something out of Brazilian wood. Anatsui created a spiral column that gives a sense of towering. The tool he uses for this piece is the chainsaw. The chainsaw is known for its violent appearance from its harsh sound. From this, the wood becomes rigid as El Anasui is carving abstract geometric patterns into it. Another tool he uses is fire, which gives the logwood a tone. The tone wood represents the diversity of culture. This piece represents the erosion of cultures and languages. Anasui adds his own ancient native language, which is being extinct. The cut wood on the floor gives a sense that the work was done not that long ago. Old Man's Cloth is one of El Anasui's iconic pieces. The tapestry is made out of metal bottle caps that are intertwined with copper wire. The metal fragments reflect every angle of the lighting. The metal bottle caps were picked up from Nigeria. The making of the piece is a slow process, so El Anasui has assistants to help him prepare the piece. They start the piece by making blocks which consist around 200 bottle caps. Before putting these blocks together to form the fabric-like form, they make sure that each block is unbreakable. After that, they lay out the blocks on the floor to find a pattern and concept. The alcohol bottle caps refer to the trading between Europe and Africa. Anasui explained that Europeans brought alcohol to exchange for goods in Africa. Later on, alcohol became an item used in slave trade. Adding on to that, the fluid movements on the fabric surface can be seen as the Atlantic Ocean, which carried slave ships and traders between Africa, Europe, and the New World. Anasui's reasoning for forming the art piece into a fabric is for his culture's woven fabric. Thus, the fabric has the ability to move and be flexible. The flexibility of the fabric in this piece translates that we all have the ability of changing. The golden colors on the tapestry represent the past of Anasui's home country. He believed that anything had the potential of being art. Therefore, his concept is not only giving his work a visual appeal, but a soul as well. Also, he created this piece in a way where it can be rearranged by anyone. Those who put up his tapestries are given a chance to experience art making by the fabric-like feature. The elaborate tapestry has the ability to compress and stretch to make an elegant drapery look. The most recent work of El Anasui was on 2013 at the High Line New York City called Broken Bridge 2. In big cities like New York have buildings that tower down to the viewers and block the view of the sky, and which caught his attention. because he grew up with open land that had a clear view of the sky. The installation is 37 feet high and 157 feet wide. It's made out of recycled pressed tin and mirrors woven together. The deformed metal creates a stunning visual of a wave-like pattern and folds. The piece has a different tone from past work that they were jeweled-like and precious, but in this piece it has more of an industrial feel to it. Not only that, but his material interest has changed. In this piece, his main focus is on the mirrors. He is trying to understand mirrors more and the language they speak, and how it reflects well and not so well in certain ways. Ironically, in this piece, the Empire State Building is one of the reflections on the mirrors. Recently, he has been more engaged in documenting, so one of his friends volunteered to help him create a time-lapse video of the progress of the installation being created. During the documentation, the Hurricane Sandy came, but luckily it didn't do damage on the work.